So there's this cafe that we're going to today. I've always wanted to go to it. I saw it online, and when I was at uni I could never go because it was so far away. We're heading towards High Kensington Street, the street, so we're like on the west side of central London. I'm a bit worried with how laptop friendly they're going to be, so I'm a bit worried. I'm going to be working on the second novel, and after it I'm going to tell you guys a bit about it, so I'm excited to share that with you. Okay, ladies and gents, we found it. It's that green one there. Alright everyone, so we're in Hyde Park at the moment. There's a long road here. So that cafe that I went to was a really cute cafe. Where I was sitting, they had like a bookshelf, and there was photos of like the people who owned it, some old family photos of them like standing outside the shop. So it was a really nice vibe. It was a nice touch. I get the feeling that it's kind of like a family owned kind of thing. So it was really nice to work there. Obviously I was working on the book, and this is the second book that I am working on. I've written a first draft, and this is the kind of sequel to it. Drum roll please. The title of the book is going to be called When Love Returns, and it's called that because I feel like that's where my kind of journey at the moment has ended. Everything that I've learned this last year, it began with me wanting to kind of like connect with people more, and I felt that like some of the stuff that I had, some of the baggage that I had was kind of like stopping me from connecting with people. And the end of my journey, it ended with this idea of that like to be loved is to be seen, and you have to be willing to show those parts of you to other people to be loved fully. A person is loved because they are loved, and you don't have to do anything extraordinary for them to love you. It doesn't mean that you don't do anything extraordinary, but to be loved, there's no reason for being loved. And just everything I've been talking about, I can only really tell you about it through quotes. But tell me every horrible thing you've ever done and let me love you anyway. It's this idea that like if you're putting on a larger than life personality because you're afraid that if people find out the truth about you, they'll leave you, then you can't be loved, because what's being loved is not you. So at the end, it's a lot to do with love. It's a lot to do with like the theme of love, and I really like it. I think it just makes sense to me. There was also a poem that I saw on Instagram which I really like, which was titled When Love Returns. Maybe love stays, maybe love doesn't. When love comes, say welcome and make yourself at home. And when love leaves, say leave the door open behind you, and thank you for stopping by. Thank you for stopping by. And about love, and the story is about trauma. It's about two people in the first stage of their relationship, the first stage of their marriage, and their kind of like journey together. One of them has trauma. I don't know the arc for the other individual, but one of them has trauma and they bring it into their relationship, and the story is how they kind of like work through that and heal from that. And I think I enjoy writing it, and I'm looking forward to writing it. And yeah, Hyde Park. So yeah. Hello ladies and gents, we're with Aarian here. Hello. We're heading towards Russell Square. We're going to get something to eat and then watch the sunset on Primrose Hill.
Very romantic.
Very romantic. We're just at Russell Square Park at the moment, and before we continue with a few things I wanted to say. So there's this lady on Instagram, and I really like her content. There was this one post she was talking about. So she had two people on a whiteboard, and she said, this is your future self who's achieved some of the goals you've already gotten, and this is your present self. And your future self that already has the thing you want is on the frequency of thank you, and because you already have the thing that you want. And this version of you is on the frequency of, oh, I really want that. She was saying that when you change your like frequency, but by frequency she just means like your thoughts and the way you act and your beliefs and whatnot. When you change that from, oh, I really want that, oh, and frequency of I want that, I need that, when you change it to like gratitude, then everything starts aligning with, everything around you starts aligning with that frequency of like trying to get what you want. And so that's one thing. Number two, so I'm trying to like change my frequency. So I tried like gratitude journaling the other day. I'm also trying to do this other thing. So like I've been meditating a lot, and whenever I meditate, I'm just trying to like speak positive things into my mind. I'm trying to like rewrite my subconscious, which sounds really bad, but basically, so it doesn't sound bad. I don't know why I'm saying that. Like whenever I'm meditating, I'll just try and say like, you're a good person, you're a kind person, you deserve to get some of these things that you're aspiring to get. And also a lot of the time what I do is when something doesn't go my way, I'm very quick to intellectualize it. I'm always saying like, okay, maybe it wasn't meant to be, maybe it's happened for a reason. And things do happen for a reason, but when you're so quick to intellectualize things, and in that way it becomes a little bit toxic, like everything when you take it to the extreme. And sometimes it becomes like you're not worthy for it, instead of this didn't happen for a reason. One can very quickly turn into the other. So I'm just trying to say things like, you know, if this thing did work out, you would have been good at it. Like, it doesn't mean that just because it didn't happen, it was like something bad. Like, you would have been good at it, you would have been a good person, you know, they would have gotten along with you, and you would have gotten along with them, and they would have loved you, and you would have loved them. And you know, I'm just trying to like speak good, like those kind of like positive things into my mind. Like it would have been good. Like, I know it didn't happen, but if it did happen, like, you would have been good, and you would have been great, and no one would have suffered from it. So yeah, I'm just trying to like change my frequency and think positively, and kind of like have those better thoughts, and hopefully to go about attracting new things. One of the things I want to do is I want to try and make new friends this year. I have an amazing friend here already, Aarian, and and he's the kind of like the hallmark for like friends that I obtain in the future, and I'd really like more friends like him. So he's an awesome guy. He's 6'3", by the way. I'm just letting him know. He's right here. And but he's honestly a great guy. I really mean that from the heart. And so yeah, I'm just trying to attract more people like him, and I think if I do that by having those thoughts, then who knows. The restaurant we decided to go to is one in this kind of like concrete bit of Russell Square, and I have been here once 3 years ago at the start of uni with my cousin, so we're gonna check it out and we'll see if Aarian likes it.
Yeah, we'll see.
Smile. The food was really good. It was really nice and filling for me, which is good because I haven't eaten much. And Aarian's just gotten a cookie.
Yeah.
It's Aarian's first time trying sushi.
Yeah, it was good, but just not filling enough.
He's always been telling me how like he wanted to try sushi, not like really wanted to, but like he kind of wanted to do it. So I'm glad he finally got to
It was good. It was
do
good.
that. Now off to Primrose Hill. All right, ladies and gents, we are here.
This summer, we'll do like a picnic thing.
Again.
Someone knows, yeah.
Everyone is cheering up there. Why aren't you cheering? I think someone got yes, I see it. Someone got married.
Proposed.
Okay, so this is Aarian's first time at Primrose Hill.
It's lovely, man.
But the sunset is actually on the wrong side.
It's on the wrong side, it's just by the side.
I wanted to sit down there, and I thought the sun was going to set over there, but it's not. So the printer just said it had to reevaluate the cartridge level. Like, what's the matter, man? You never printed a 300-page document before? Alright guys, it is still going. It's been printing for about a good 6 minutes now, and look how thick that is. And that's not even about halfway through now, So my library card expires on the 30th of June, and since today is the 27th, that would probably be the last time I would ever be in the library. And I am actually really sad, but I guess that's a good thing. It's better than not feeling anything at all. Better than being indifferent. I done like a last lap around the library, so like I went around to each of the different floors, and I was like remembering, okay, this happened in that room, I edited a video in this room, I had this funny conversation with this guy in that room. And yeah, it was really sad. It was sad, but it's a good sad as well. I'm glad to like feel something and not just like be like in this constant state of rushing into like something productive afterwards, which is what I normally do. one last thing we had to do before we say goodbye to the library, and was this. I don't know if you can see it, but it's called The Caller in the Night. And if you've been watching my vlogs, you know I've kind of been like hinting at this. That was a title reveal, by the way. So this is a first draft to my first novel that I've written. If you can see, it's quite thick. I don't think the camera does it justice, but it's 325 pages, and I just printed it out right now. A little bit about this. So I guess I kind of started writing just because like I wanted to express myself and express some feelings and express some thoughts, and I guess I just wanted to be heard. Endgame had just kind of like came out, and I was really interested by like Endgame, how like everyone watched Endgame. You know, like everyone was in the cinema when it came out, and I thought that was kind of interesting. That around the same time I had, let's hope that does not fall into the river. And around that time I also finished reading Harry Potter, the books specifically, and I really enjoyed those books. And I felt annoyed because I felt like there wasn't anything as good as Harry Potter, and I kept on trying to search for Harry Potter in other books. So me writing this was kind of like me trying to create a Harry Potter equivalent, not the same story, but like me trying to like give myself a new, or give other people a new favorite book to read. And there's this quote that I put on my Instagram that says, "In people's lives, I want to be that which doesn't hurt." And this is kind of like what I want the book to be. I just want this book to be something that is wholly accepted and people like and people love, and there's no negative that comes from it. There's no controversy, there's no, I don't know, I just don't want there to be any sort of negativity that comes from it. I just want it to be solely a positive thing and solely a good thing. I'm a very sensitive person, and I feel things very acutely, and I understand what triggers people and how it can trigger people, and I can see the things that other people might not consider, if that makes sense. I can see things that other people might not consider. This is so hard to words. It's kind of like why I wrote a whole book about this and not actually try to explain it. I just want this to be something positive. I want this to be something that, because I'm very sensitive, I have like a different perspective on things, and I'd like to share that without harming or hurting anyone. Yeah, and I guess because I'm sensitive, I see things that I think a lot of people are currently overlooking, and I guess that this will kind of give me an opportunity to do that. But yeah, I just want it to be something positive and something good. I hope this book can change the world, really and truly, and I mean that in a good way. By change the world, I mean I want it to do the right thing, and I want it to do it in the right way, because I think the two of them, a lot of the times we have the former and we don't have the latter. I think that there's a lot of people who want to do the right thing, but they don't know how to, or the right thing is mixed in with their egos, or they're doing the right thing, but if they get money on the side as well, or popularity on the side, it's good as well. And I don't want that to be like this. I want this to be the right thing at the right time, in the right way, if that makes sense. And I don't want this to cause any harm, and it's going to take a lot of work. It is just a first draft, but there is no bad first draft, right? A first draft just has to exist. So I printed this out. This is one of my goals for the next year coming, just to edit this and rewrite this and make a new draft and stuff like that. There's this quote from a poet or an author or something, and it says, "I'm motivated by three things," and they list the first two, and the third one is pity for the suffering of mankind. Pity or love. I think love sounds better, I guess, but it was like love for all of mankind, and I thought that kind of like summarized it. It was something like that, and I guess a reason like that kind of like motivated the reason for this book. Like, I just really care about people and really care about things, and I don't want to see people upset. I don't want to see people hurt. I really don't. I genuinely mean that. Like, I wrote this book partially because I don't want to see people hurt. I don't want to see people suffer. And everyone, like the whole of the human race. Maybe that's a bit crazy, but I don't want this to, and I don't want it to be something that I put out a reason for people to suffer. And I wrote this as my attempt to kind of like help with that, I guess, or at least it was a motivation between it. I also saw a quote by another author that said, writing is your way of loving the world. because you only write about what you understand. So maybe it's better for me to articulate it in quotes. So yeah.